Hey, I'm Rody.
I'm Riff.
We're from Protest of the Hero.
You're listening to Ultimradio.
Salut tout le monde, c'est Benoît d'Ultimradio avec deux membres de Protest of the Hero. How are you doing, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, except it's a little bit chilly outside, but you know.
That's right.
Yeah, that's fall temperature. Alors, les gars viennent juste de finir leur set, qui était encore très très bon aujourd'hui. Aussi, on les avait vus également. L'équipe d'Ultimradio s'était déplacée à Montréal pour le Rockstar Uproar Energy Festival. C'était excellent. Sérieusement, c'était un très très bon set. C'est un groupe qui a énormément évolué. Moi, je les avais vus en 2006 au départ. Ils avaient fait une tournée avec Dragon Force. Ça n'avait pas si bien été que ça, mais ils ont fait du chemin en masse. So, thank you guys, first of all, for accepting the interview. And we asked a few fans on the Facebook page of Ultimradio for a couple of questions. So, I'm going to start it by this. How has your last album, how's it called? Scurrilous? Scurrilous has been received by your fans.
Comme ci, comme ça.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I think for the most part we see most of the positive stuff coming out of it because, you know, the people who don't like it don't really come to the shows.
Yeah.
But every now and again we see a couple comments on the internet. You know, we cut out the screaming, we cut out the breakdowns, we cut out all the, like, real typical lazy bullshit. So some people...
You wanted to make something new.
That's right. And I think some kids just, like, unless it's just breakdowns and screaming all over the place, kids can't really get behind it. It's okay, because we're looking for an older fan base anyway.
Well, that's a good concept.
Yeah, we're kind of looking
you got to move on. You just can't stay in the same the same pattern forever. You gotta change. You gotta try something new.
That's right.
That's cool. What was the approach to the songwriting process since Fortress? Because it got so popular, you know, and got your band to another level, basically. Was there any sort of pressure to make like a Fortress #2?
We were calling it Fortress 2 as a joke, but...
we were calling it Kazortress.
Kazortress, yeah. No, you know...
It's like two names in one.
Yeah. And I think that's because we didn't try to make Fortress sound like anything in particular.
Okay.
And retroactively as well, we didn't try and make Kazaya sound like anything in particular. So obviously when we're doing a new album, we're not going to make that sound like anything in particular either. And I think that since we had the same motivation behind all of the albums, the end product does have sort of similarities with the previous ones. But we weren't trying to make it sound like anything, and it came out sounding like it does.
I cannot agree with that. You got a video for a song that's called C'est la vie, and was banned by a lot of broadcasters actually because it talked about suicide.
Yeah, well, the video was basically just a bunch of kids killing themselves.
And
we don't have any contentions with the media for not playing it.
We should have saw that coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you guys had to expect a certain level of controversy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you weren't the first band that made a video that was talking about suicide. I'm thinking about another band that's called Papa Roach. And
cut pizza into slices.
Pretty much, yeah. But it got banned from a couple of music stations, like here in Quebec. There was a station that says we're only gonna play it once and never again. And after that, the fan base was so huge and so important. They say, okay, we're gonna jump right over that. So it's not so bad. It's better to talk about it than...
I think the biggest problem we had with that video is, and Arf said it before, it's like a neutral take on suicide. You know, it's neither...
Okay, it's not pro...
It's neither pro or against. And, you know, like, had we just tossed up, like, a kid's help phone number on the end of it, they would have been glad to play it, I guess. But, we didn't want to kind of take sides.
Okay, then you wanted to make your own approach, basically. Oh, okay. I understand a little bit better. Do you know beforehand that this video might be rejected, or was it a total surprise?
Well, it wasn't a surprise. I wouldn't say we knew beforehand. I just think we didn't consider it.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't actively go out trying to make a controversial video or something like that. Had we tried to make a controversial video, we would have made a hell of a controversial video.
They wouldn't even allow it on YouTube.
Yeah. And I mean, most people watch videos on the internet anyway, so who cares if they don't play it on TV?
Speaking of controversy, and how did your label react to that?
They don't really care, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think they understand that, you know, it's content. People can go on YouTube and watch it anytime they want.
True.
You know, whatever. Maybe it's a shame that the TV stations didn't pick it up, but if we start modeling our behavior for TV stations, I'll feel, you know, kind of like a shill.
Yeah.
And who got the idea for the video that's called The Colors Don't Run?
Oh, jeez.
And was it like to go out in the streets and perform for people who had no freaking clue about what was going on?
That was so long ago, you know. It would be actually quite difficult to pinpoint exactly whose idea it was because it was so long ago, but it was strange. We were a different band then, we were different people. I guess we were a little more confident or cocky. We just went on the streets and banged our heads and acted a fool.
Yeah, we would never do that now, I think.
Not in a million years.
That was, you know, I guess in some sense I'm glad we took the opportunity to do a thing like that when we did, because now we are
staunchly opposed to anything like that.
We don't even jump around and stuff like that anymore. I mean, and people need to understand that we were kids, and I think the kids have a sort of a crass way of getting their message across, and I think that's what we were doing there.
They show more energy on stage, and they move around pretty much.
Right. I think you learn like subtlety as you know as you grow up, and our live performance has certainly been like that. I think in some sense even like the message, the political message or social message or otherwise, has also kind of become a little more, it's a lot more subtle than it was.
Excellent. Okay. You know, you guys are known as a very technical band, pretty much. And did you ever take into consideration the way a song will have to be played live?
We used to never do that. When we wrote our first record and when we wrote our second record especially, well, mostly when we're recording it is when we're not considering that. Because it's just like, throw a billion harmonies here, throw 17 guitars, you know, let's have some Tuvan throat singing, some fucking cymbals.
Too much is like too much is like not enough.
Yeah, but when we wrote the new record, we were a lot more conscious about it, and I think it's really beginning to show in our playing. When we play the older stuff, it's not quite as together as the newest stuff, which is kind of strange because it's usually quite the opposite. But you know, we're playing to a click track now. There's not as many like vocals. There's not as like, it's not. I don't know. It's we wrote it with playing it live in mind this time, and it's truly paying off, I think.
Yeah, if I were to speak for myself, I find that when I'm playing my hardest, it's not necessarily that I'm playing my best. I think I'm playing my best when I'm within sort of my comfort zone, and it might not be the most difficult thing that I'm able to do on the instrument, but I can play it a lot better than that difficult thing is. So I mean, if all of us took a little step back, and I think that it helps the actual song sound better, because it's not something that, you know, maybe 10% of the time we're not playing properly. Now we are playing it properly 90% of the time.
Yeah. Well, I guess you kept in mind that you guys must have fun on stage, so that you would want to play the same songs night after night on tour.
That's right. And we do have a lot of fun on stage, you know. Like,
yeah, the Pepto-Bismol shit that you did on the on their set, man, I was laughing my ass off with Mario over there, man. We're like, oh my god, he's such a dumbass.
Well, thank you.
But it's so cool, and I saw your MySpace videos that you did in hotel rooms, and I'm laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
you guys have a really good time on tour.
Yeah, we try to, you know, make the best of every situation.
You know how to unwind, pretty much. You're not too tense.
I think there's too many fucking metal bands, progressive bands out there that just take themselves way too seriously. They get up on stage and they go, ah, Satan, you know, and like, just like, you know, everything's just like so stupid. Just like you're in a fucking band. Go on stage, have some drinks, have some laughs, have a good time. You know, and that's what we're about.
People take their shit way too seriously sometimes, and they forget what music is all about, is having fun and sharing sharing your creativity and sharing your ideal of fun with people.
Yeah.
Not keeping it to yourself.
We've
Share
always-
the love, pretty much.
We've always said, take your craft seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Or seriously at all.
Yeah. I'll remember that. Talking about lyrics, I think Brody wrote most of the lyrics this time around.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's kind of hard to say. I think Arf's always felt that it was a strange thing to have the bassist writing the lyrics. I'm just speaking for you. But I don't know. We started and Arf sent out 3 sets of lyrics and they were great. He did C'est la vie, Moonlight, and Sex Tapes. And then, I don't know, we got drunk at a bar one night and we were chatting and I had written a set and, you know, he seemed pretty happy to not have to write anymore. I don't know.
Change?
Yeah. It was just, it's just something to make it different. You know, I think a lot of the times we get the question and it's like, makes it seem like Arf and I had some like falling out or something like that. But it's like, we were just having a couple beers and I was like, I wrote a set of lyrics and he was like, write some more. That was that.
That ties into, you know, the rest of us also holding back, like what we were talking about earlier, about how, you know, we're playing less individually but playing more as a group. I think that what that means is that we're discovering our roles, and it's the role of a singer to be writing lyrics to, you know, that cater to certain parts, and I think that shows you can tell that, you know, it's being such a lot more effective. Like if you listen to even just the phrasing in the songs and things like that, the songs, I mean, have more of a point now, sort of a direct point, and that's, I don't know, it's a closer ideal to what we'd like the band to sound like, and I think that that's probably the way we'll continue in the future.
Yeah, and I guess it shows when you're playing live that people feel it, and like they're like a well-oiled machine, so to speak. They have fun on stage and they know what their part is, and you blend it all together and it sounds pretty fucking tight. So that's cool. You know, you take yourself seriously, but not too much. And sometimes you show up a bottle of Pepto-Bismol and you flip the fuck out. Funny. Yeah, I'm gonna remember this for a couple of years, man. First guy I saw after a set, hey, I had the shits the other day, so take this.
I had the shits today and yesterday. I have irritable bowel syndrome and I drink a lot of booze, and it's a deadly combination. So, ipso facto, I drink a lot of Pepto-Bismol as well.
Well, at least you have something to calm it down.
That's right. For now. It's getting worse. Sometimes Pepto doesn't help at all. I just...
No shit. Oh.
Yeah. No, lots of shit.
shit.
Lots of watery, thin, viscous shit.
Well, that's another anecdote for you. Obviously, you know, your fans already know you're a Canadian band, and you love your Canadian fans very much, and you know Canadians love their beer.
Correct.
And what's your favorite beer? Canadian or any other?
I like Bitburger. In Germany, we always go, and like the first Bitburger of the tour is always fantastic. As far as Canadian goes, I like to, you know, I think we like to keep it pretty simple. We like to keep it like your granddaddy, you know, like we drink fucking 50, you know.
Hell yeah.
We enjoy it quite a bit.
I think when I was younger and like first sort of starting to drink beer, I tried to, you know, go out there and experiment with micro brews and that kind of thing. And I still do enjoy doing that to some extent. But when someone asks me what my favorite beer is, I kind of have to concede to that beer which I drink the most or most commonly, and that's stuff like 50 and Export and Molson Stock Ale and Labatt Blue, and you know, like they're sort of your working man's beers because they're cheap and they get the... I like Pabst, sure, I'll drink Pabst. I mean, I like more beer than I dislike it.
Sorry, wait. Sorry. Little iPhone moment.
Yeah, actually, the beer that I probably drink the most is Moosehead. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I call it the Heineken of the Newfoundland.
Yeah, New Brunswick.
Yeah, New Brunswick is called.
That's okay.
It's pretty good beer, and
Yeah, it's alright.
It's not too pricey too.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta show some support for Canadian beers.
That's right. I love Canadian beer, man.
Hell
Canadian
yeah,
beer
man.
is You know, I think it's a Monty Python joke. He says, "What is the similarity between American beer and having sex in a canoe?" And that similarity is that you're both fucking close to water. That being said, the United States do have some very small independent companies that make a lot of fucking awesome beer. Yingling, Sam Adams is a small company, even though it's everywhere. Dogfish Head Ale, it's good fucking shit.
All right.
So, speaking of beer, let's have another glass of wine. Next thing.
What's next for us for Protest the Hero? Are we gonna have to wait like 3 years for another release?
Yes. No, I don't know. We're gonna get back on the road. We got about a month off, and then we're gonna get back on the road pretty hard. We're going down into the States.
You got some big tours coming up.
Yeah, well, I don't know, big, maybe small, you know. And then we're gonna try and get everywhere. We want to get down to South America on this run some point.
Oh, nice.
You know, we want to get to Colombia. But yeah, we get all over the fucking place, and we're hoping to start recording early 2013.
Okay.
But so yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Through 3 years. Yeah.
And that is only if John Cusack can help us through 2012. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's like a loose schedule right now. But who fuck knows what happens? We'd die in the car crash on the way home. Hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your time, and I really appreciated your set, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you. Alors, c'était Protest the Hero pour Ultimradio. Ici Ben. À la prochaine.